Live. Hello and welcome to Team Zero presenting the Opus 6 review of Ice in the Final Fantasy trading card game. I am Scott, aka Zer0, and I am with Eva.
Hello!
And Tom.
Hi!
And so, let's get started. Tom, go ahead.
The first card in Ice in the Opus 6 set is Isolé, a 4 CP backup from Final Fantasy XIV. This is a card that, when spoiled, everyone's response was basically, yay, a Genesis searcher. Because it can search for any ice board and add it to your hand.
Well, that's what Genesis searcher in Ice, that is.
Yeah. This card can search for a lot of good stuff, and if it wasn't for the fact that Ice hasn't been that great in Opus 6, I feel like this card recently has slipped under the radar, but definitely was viewed as kind of OP when spoiled. What do you think?
Well, arguably there isn't really much that it actually searches for that doesn't already have an on-color searcher. Well, at least anything you might want. For example, the Final Fantasy VI package and the Final Fantasy XIII package are all having a nice searcher already, so I don't see why you'd use your sale, which is obviously more expensive on those. What about you, Eva?
Well, I guess if you're desperate, it's a really good card to have in your deck, just as a backup. Well, a backup. Just in case. You can discard it for CP if you don't need it. It's very versatile, so I guess it's a pretty decent card.
I mean, with the arrival of Thordan and Mog, is there really a need for this card? I mean, Merwib's been pushed to the back seats thanks to Thordan, so...
True.
Is it relevant?
But Mog... Remember that Mog is also an S ability, so that's its only downfall, really.
Well, I think the main difference here is that it's a forward rather than any card. Especially if you consider, for example, Setzer, for the Final Fantasy VI package at least searches for any character within Final Fantasy VI, so it can search for backups as well. And of course it's more expensive, but it's got a body and a secondary ability on top, so...
Exactly.
Looking back to the last video, I'd argue this card is a very relevant Ice card in that Bart's is Lady Iceheart, and that's just some canonical mishaps going on there.
Definitely.
So
Lady Iceheart Bart's.
To go and give this three Bergens?
3 Bergens.
Yep.
Generic search.
Okay, Eva, do you want to take this one?
Yep, sure. We have a 2-cost backup Emina from Type 0. She's a commanding officer. When Emina enters the field, choose 1 forward opponent controls and freeze it. And paying with 2 ICP and 2 other CP and dull, you put Emina into the break zone, choose 1 dull forward, break it. You can only use this ability during your turn. And yeah, I guess it's a decent card because it's low cost, but the ability is quite expensive, seeing as you need to break yourself as well. But useful.
The first main question to ask is, does it get outclassed by Jill Nabat?
What do you think, Scott?
Well, Jill Nabat certainly does outclass it because it's on the X burst and it does 2 forwards. At least off its primary abilities. That's not really the reason you're going to be taking Emina. If you're taking Emina at all, it's probably because of any Type 0 combo, thanks to its searching from Kurosame, and also its secondary ability to just break a dull forward, although obviously Emperor restricts.
Exactly.
Do you take it over other Emina if you're even running the Kazusa Kurosame Emina package at all?
No, I don't think you do. I think you take Opus 3 Emina and make Kurosame 4-cost, and then use him for searching Kazusa, and then just get a kind of efficient train coming in.
But both Kazusas are particularly bad, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think they wanted you to go for like a weird Emina like go for the Emina Kazusa Kurasane combo yet again this Opus.
Mm.
I don't think they kind of hit a good Kazusa.
Yeah.
Like,
The main question with this Emina, at least, is does Hades do what it does better?
I think that's nearly every ice card we're getting. It's just they're new ice cards, but there are other cards that do its job better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're seeing this mono ice deck not really changing much at all.
No, not at all. Opus 6 hasn't been great for ice, in my opinion.
A lot of people are saying it's been the best set so far for ice, and it's really been mediocre.
I mean, it has a great mod.
It did well with its monsters, yeah, I'll give it that. But elsewhere, it's particularly lacking, apart from maybe one or two good cards.
Yeah.
I think Fire did better than this, to be honest. Moving on.
Surprisingly. Oh, how many Bergens?
Oh, yeah, so we said 3 Bergens for this, didn't we?
3 Bergens. Yep.
It's more than her comics, so it's pretty good.
There's enough combination within it, and there's no reason not to run both her and Jill Nabat. I guess you could run her instead of Jill Nabat and use the other Jill Nabat as an excuse off of that. So
I will point out this card was great in pre-release because you could just target anything that was a new subject, like you're frozen.
Of course.
And being a cheap card, you could pay for it using any CP as a backup, so that was really nice.
Not her effect, of course, but yeah.
Not her effect, yeah.
Remember, you could make use of your freeze tokens with this card in pre-release.
You mean those freeze tokens that no one used?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like trying to train yourself to actually use the freeze tokens, but then you realise it's too much effort to take it out of the bag and put it on one instead of just turning the card upside down.
Yep.
I mean, they're just pointless pieces of plastic that were 3D printed, so...
Yeah. Moving on, we have Scholar, perhaps the worst card in this ice set. It was okay at pre-release, I guess, but Scholar is a 2-cost standard unit backup from Final Fantasy XIV. It is a multi-card, and when it enters the field, choose a forward of cost 2 or less. Opponent controls, dull it and freeze it. Okay, so the first issue I have with this is that Arithmetician does all of that, but better. Even if it's for 2 more, but the chances are you're only going to use Arithmetician if there's more than one backup, one forward you're going to use it on. So, you know, straight off that, Chemist kind of, I mean, it only does the dull and it's more expensive, but you can dull anything. I guess Zalera combos? I don't know. It seems very subpar, and apart from, I don't know, like Thaumaturge or maybe Ursula, what are you really going to be freezing with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not very good against high cost. It's just cost 2 or less.
Well, the thing is, it can only do 2 or less. I mean, why would I want to freeze a 2 or less when whatever their 2 or less is probably going to get broken by whatever my other cards are anyway? Because they're so low powered.
I mean, when you think about it, it's more of a wind counter, but not really.
Exactly.
Considering that.
I know 2-cost Knight from Water, maybe.
Yeah,
possibly.
Pool's a good target for it if you're just sticking it.
But you ideally want to kill a pool rather than just dull and freeze it.
I think it's there maybe to be an early game counter to getting rushed down so you can set your board state up, but you could just chuck down a 2 CP Thermitage and just be like, I'm going to make you discard and be a 5k body, usually.
It comes in for free off of 6-cost Warrior of Light, I guess.
Yeah, Warrior of Light into freezing something, but
I think the fact that it's such low cost that it does freeze is why it's particularly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is 1 Bergen. I don't think there's any question at all about this.
It can be wind, but wind activates the card again.
Of course. Tom, do you want to take the next one, please?
Yeah! Next card is Kazusa. This card has great card art. Just putting it out there.
Agreed.
It's like classic anime character who's full of himself. But Type 0 card and 5 cost. Pretty expensive. When Kazusa enters the field, choose 1 doll forward, deal 10,000 damage. Big numbers, but is basically, when he enters the field, break a doll forward. And then for 2 CP and dolling him, you put him in the break zone and choose 2 forwards and doll them. This card would be a lot better if the enter effect was dolling 2 forwards and the costed ability was breaking a doll forward.
I think what makes it even worse is the fact that its secondary ability is more expensive than just using a 2-cost Shiva, which also escapes the whole Emperor effect, you know.
And it's super high cost.
The only other 5-cost backup in Ice, I believe, is Cannoneer, which, to be perfectly honest, does outclass Khazar in this in every way, shape, and form.
It's just...
Glacier Labalus kind of does it, but better.
It could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, just pushing it to break a doll forward could be better if there's, for some reason, an 11k body on your board.
I mean, you can always combo with like Sid Reigns or something off of that, or Terra. But everyone was like really hyped when this card came out because they thought it was really good. But I mean, it was pretty bad, to be honest.
Worse than Opus 3 Kazusa.
Yeah, I think it'd be if this one is run, it's only going to be a one-off, whereas the other one has its place a bit more in discard decks.
Because the Opus 3 one was technically a 1-cost if you ran Opus 3 Emina, and it's a 1-cost.
No, not entirely, because that discarded a card from both of your hands. So if you didn't already have 0 cards in hand, that's actually negative on that.
Yeah.
It's searchable.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
He's too expensive for what he does, and Ice has all of this in cheaper cards.
I mean, if you bring in Khazar for the ping effect, I mean, the new Doom Train does basically the same. And if you're running for the dull effect, the Opus 3 Shiva does the same, and they're all cheaper.
Yeah.
That reminds me that we're probably going to get an Opus 7 Shiva that is a bit like the Opus 5 Diablos, Opus 6 Ramu, which are like 4 things that Ice just does.
I mean, Glacier Labalos kind of does that, but for cheaper.
Yeah. There's going to be like a Shiva coming out for it.
Okay, so we happy to give this 2 Bergens? A one-off in some decks?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right. Okay. Next up is Bard. Eva, you want to take this?
Yep, sure. Bard. He is a standard unit backup of 2 costs. And he is from FF14. Dull, put him in the break zone. Each player discards 1 card from his or her hand. You can only use this ability during your turn.
It's Opus 3 Kazusa.
Yay!
What's an Opus 3 Kazusa?
It's a standard unit, so you can run more than one, I guess.
Yay!
It allows you to run Opus 6 Kazusa because it doesn't share the same name.
I mean, that's an advantage.
It's Gesper, but worse.
Yay!
Exactly like Edward.
Woo! Even looks like Edward.
Imaginary champion / Sephiroth, but worse. Ooh.
Yay! It's just 7 card.
I guess it's combos and discard. Might see.
Yeah. And then pauper decks.
Yeah,
standard
pauper decks.
Yeah.
Like the
It's
better
alright.
box is the dull all backups when it enters the field.
I think if you get something though, that Gesper is also a common.
True, but not a standard unit.
True. So this can come in off of Warrior of Light as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And counts towards that whole Magus standard unit count, doesn't it?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst card in the set.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be 1 cost summoner that does nothing. Ooh.
It could just be put Bard into the break zone, discard a card from your hand.
Could be an Opus 1 reprint.
Oh god. Ooh.
Well, that discard a card from your hand could be fun if it was discard a card from your hand and EX burst triggers off it. That'd be a fun card.
Yeah, but why? You're discarding a card from your hand.
Yeah, maybe you've got
Why
a
not?
6-cost summon that you want to discard, and you can just discard
Unless,
it.
of course, it's putting more Shivas in the break zone or getting rid of an annoying second copy of Fusoya or something. Why?
But if it hits EX burst, then that'd be pretty fun. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, right. It's still negative T, but
I mean, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, possibilities. Yeah, 2 Bergens, not the worst card.
2 Bergen.
In its deck, it's probably a 3 of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kuja, legendary Kuja. I guess this is mine. A 5-cost 9k EX burst from Dissidia Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 9. It is a genome, which really doesn't matter. And when Kuja enters the field, choose one forward or monster opponent controls, dull it, and freeze it. And put 2 ice backups into the break zone. Return Kuja to your hand. You can only use this ability during your main phase and if Kuja is in the break zone. Okay, well, the first point of call is it's worse than both Genesis and the other legendary Kuja.
Yeah.
Apart from
Yeah.
the fact it can freeze monsters, I guess. I mean, Noel doesn't really see play in fire, so I don't think, apart from the ability to break your own backups, which may be useful, you'd really want to bring him, you know? And obviously Noel goes straight onto the field, whereas this goes to your hand. Apart from that, you've got Ico and Steiner search for it, and Zidane triggers, light Zidane triggers activating all of it, so there's some FF9 combos there. I don't know, I think people thought this was a very good card, but I mean, in the mono ice decks that are running around at the moment, who's really going to be clearing space to make for this?
He's expensive. He's 9k, and the ability is mediocre.
In your 5-cost plus pocket in your deck, you're going to run this or Orphan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Orphan.
exactly. So I don't think
you don't want a lot of high costs, so I don't like this legendary.
I don't. Tom, you got any thoughts?
The fact that dulling and freezing a monster being an EX first means you could justify maybe one copy in the deck and just pray that it dies. But
you really want to be taking damage.
The one upside of
you
this
could
card...
Yule into Fusoya off of it, I guess.
Well, I mean, it being a 9k body does mean it gets around quite a few of the entry hazards that can insta-kill a Genesis upon entry, like a grenade or a lot of the fire. So it's a nice ice to have, but I don't know.
It does double what Kuja does.
Yeah, it's kind of mediocre.
And searchable in its own colour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you could do some fun stuff and just kill a bunch of Goombas and watch them come back to haunt Kuja's life.
That's at least one of your backup slots. Your breaking's free to bring Kuja back, I guess.
Why break 2 backups to bring Kuja back? It's how popular was Lulu for breaking a backup to deal 5k?
I mean, it's never been the most popular card, but it's consistently some popularity at the very least. People still play it.
Well, would you rather discard 2 ice backups, bring back a 9k body, or break 2 ice backups and deal 10k?
I mean, there is a reactivation involved there somewhere, but yeah.
But also remember, this is best in a mono ice deck. It's breaking 2 ice backups specifically.
True.
So,
although it's worth noting, a lot of ice backups can't break themselves as much as other colours. So
true, useful, but I'd rather have that CP than breaking them and then returning Kuja to your hand.
It's a late game card.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Well, monster you target, because they've clearly chucked monster on here for people to be like, yay, I can freeze a monster. What takes priority in what you're freezing?
I mean, there's a card coming up soon which I think completely outclasses Kuja, and it's
Yep.
rare, I think. So, yeah. I don't think we can give this more than 2 Bogans, to be honest.
Surprising for a legendary, but
For a
yeah,
legend, I'm quite disappointed, yeah.
very.
I mean, to not anger the community, can we give it 3 because of good card art?
You could say that
Card
for most
art
of this
is
set.
a 4.
Oh, of course. That. Sorry, Josepher. Spiritually, this is a 4. Just for you. But no, it's a 2. Right. Yeah. Tom Kurosami.
Kurosame! This was a card I never expected to see Ice to have. I just didn't. Like, it's a 5-cost 7k from Type 0. That EX Burst Search for Eminor Kazusa, yeah, sure, alright. But then all your ice forwards other than Kurosame get 1k power?
Yeah,
like,
it's Steiner from Water, but better.
It just came out of nowhere to be, oh, by the way, you know the fact that all ice forwards are all 7k? Yeah, we're just gonna give you a 1k power buff if you want to run it. But
I think the hardest question is not whether you run this, but which Kazusa and Emina do you run with it?
I think if you're running this Kurosame, you're definitely wanting to run the Opus 6 Emina and Kazusa just because I think you're building a deck around the 3 of them more, and this is probably a better set of cards to run that around.
Of course.
But otherwise, I wouldn't run this card. I just run Duke Larg if you want the extra 1k power.
Yeah.
Is it
I mean,
Larg?
getting extra 2k power is quite good because Ice notably didn't have a Raffia, Ingus, etc. Warrior of Light that boosted their own colours by 1k. So this kind of like fits the Ice's slot. It kind of a shame really that there's still one colour out there, Lightning, that doesn't actually have one of these extra power boosters. But I think Ice needs the extra power more than some elements because they're a little bit less in power.
Yeah,
True.
I guess.
I mean, maybe running this over Duke Larg to make more space from some backups like Emina perhaps is something you want to do.
But, like the Emina and Kazusa, we have to bring up the Opus 3 Kurosame, which is a 5 cost as well, but it's a 9k body, and when he enters the field, you get to freeze 2 forwards.
The problem is, it's not very good.
Yeah. Like, which one would you rather run, though?
But, neither of them are that good.
I think I prefer this one because it's an EX Burst Searcher.
Yeah.
I guess the EX Burst makes it...
Yeah. Because effectively it's then a 4-cost 7k.
I don't think it's going to see much play.
It might do.
I don't think it cares
it's got a deck
much
for sure. But it's a deck building around
it. I don't think it's going to see much play in the end.
I don't know. We'll see.
You run it in a standard unit DG like ice deck and just make an 11k shock trooper, 12k shock trooper with
off of DGS Trooper First Class, that's 3,000 power boost.
To all your
any standard units are nice.
Yeah.
Duke Larg, it's 4. If you're adding Water Warrior of Light, that's 6k first strike on whatever standard unit forwards you got. Nice.
But then again, it is also another 7k body, so this card can get easily killed by a lot of things.
Well, I think, there's a little bit of a downside that it's not an entire category, it's only 2 cards, but Steiner did see a lot of play until, well, the legendary Steiner came out. So,
yeah.
But I think Water needs
if
power
there's
more.
in future a Kazusa or Emina that has a bit more synergy with Kurosame, then I think this will see a lot more play.
I'd rather see cadets before I see a third Kazusa or Emina.
Well, that's you, the Type 0 player. So,
Yeah.
Right. We're good at giving this 3. The power boost mainly. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Doom Train.
Yay! Doom Train. 4-cost summon. And it has some great art. If your opponent has 1 card or less in his or her hand, the cost required to cast Doom Train is reduced by 2. Choose one dull forward, deal it 9k damage. Yeah.
That's a bit
It's a
laughable, really,
decent.
isn't it?
It's a fire card that found its way into ice.
It's an ice fire card.
Ooh. Yeah,
I
I
wish-
mean, the whole...
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
He's
about you,
got-
but in pre-release, this did nothing to me.
it did nothing. No. Like,
I suggest some ways to make this card better.
Yeah.
Just play Glacier Labalos, the other
Yeah.
Doom Train.
Hit fire, call it Bahamut, and then change it from being dull, and you're good.
Yeah, I guess. And then it's better than all of the other fire summons.
But it doesn't remove from game, so you could argue that best Bahamut is still best Bahamut.
Alright, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. There's no category 7 bringing back
7.
summons yet, I don't think, so, yay.
No.
You're relying on discard deck for this, and, discard decks don't particularly care too much about dealing 9k to dull forwards as much as the dull variant of Ice does.
It's kind of like, I want to late game Shiva, but I don't want to bring any Shivas, but I want to deal 9k damage.
I think the main problem is, because it is going in the discard deck if it does go in a deck.
Yeah.
Why are you playing this over Sid Alstein? Because
I don't know.
it's the X-Burst for one, but effectively, Doom Train could be 2 cost, I guess. That's the only reason, because Sid just flat out breaks it, whether it's dull or not.
You could... I think you could
Rank body, so,
when they're playing something, and just only use it when they've emptied their hand to play stuff onto the field if they're overextending.
Yeah, but they're not going to be overextending if they're playing discard, really, are they?
Yeah,
They don't have the CP, really, to be overextending too much.
It would be nice if it did 9k and made them discard. That'd be alright.
I mean, in that case, why didn't you just play Hades?
Yeah. Welcome to
There's
Ice.
better cards.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of cards that do basically the same thing, and in the turbo discard deck, there's not enough space for this.
Yeah.
But does that just show how good Ice was prior, or how bad this set is?
I think it shows how good it's been up to this point.
Perhaps, yeah. But it also allows
Because
the other
Ice has
colours
always
to
had
catch up a
good
bit.
boost.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're giving this 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it
We're
makes
not
it
giving
play.
We're giving it a choo-choo.
Right, okay, yeah, moving on. Summoner, 3 cost backup, standard unit from Final Fantasy TA2. There is some synergy there from, like, Luso, if that helps. It's a multi-card, which is incredible, although you're probably only going to be running 1. And you pay 1 CP, dull it, put it into the break zone, and you get to pick 2 ice summons and add them to your hand. This is incredible. I am
Oh my
completely
god!
and utterly ashamed of the Earth Scholar we also got this set, because it does exactly the same thing but worse.
Shiva decks are very happy, because now you technically have an extra 2 Shivas.
Well, as many as you have summoners, yeah.
Yeah.
Shivas are incredibly good. Coming off of something like Snow is even better.
There's
But I
one-
don't think they're going to be the main targets for this summoner, because there's a lot of Shivas in your deck, potentially.
True.
I think it's when you're running your one copy of Zer0 and your 1 copy of Mateus the Corrupt in your deck, just to keep your opponents on edge. And then you can surprise them by pulling them back to your hand and using them when you want them.
Or
People have got to be constantly aware of, is Zer0 going to completely destroy my board, even when it's in the break zone? And the same with Mateus, is it going to kill this thing? And of course, getting more Glacier Labalos, because that's a lot harder to get than your Shivas.
true.
Anything you want to say here, Ever?
No, not particularly. I think it's been said. FFTCG.
Anything from you, Tom?
It's just a solid backup. Like,
Yeah.
with
It's very
CP
solid.
on, like, 1 CP and dull of any color CP.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
you're running this in Modern Ice probably.
that the Scholar in Earth, you have to pay 2 Earth CP in Dull, and you only get 1 summon back. So you're effectively paying the same.
But does Earth have better summons than Ice? I mean, kind of.
No, Ice has a lot better summons than Earth does.
There's a lot.
Ice is
The
very
only argument is
overpowered.
that Earth also has Radio to bring summons back from the Break Zone.
And Jido Marugio or whatever.
Who plays it for... does it pull him back from your Break Zone? Okay.
I can't remember if you search and play. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I think
check
it's search
that.
and play for free. I'm not sure. It might bring stuff back up. We'll get to it when we get to Earth, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to give this 4 Bergens because we expect a lot of Ice decks, especially if you're running Summon and not Monster variant, sort of. You're going to want to put at least 1 copy of this in?
Yeah.
It's attacking pretty much every Ice deck.
It's a better summoner than the other summoner this set, which is the reprint.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Yeah.
Both unicorns, so.
But I'm sorry, it can't be... Oh, wait, this can be searched. It's a standard unit. It's infinitely better.
Hey!
Sorry. And
But it can't...
FFTCG, sorry, just it keeps getting better.
It can't be bought by Warrior of Light, though. It's too expensive.
Ah, god damn it. No, it doesn't really matter. It's so solid as it is.
It's still a good card.
I mean, if you're running Warrior of Light, you run a Jido Marujo because you're running Earth, and you can pull any summons from your Break Zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Okay. Yeah, let's move to the next one, Tom.
This is a cat because it's a free cost monster called Militesi Curl. I just call it, but it's a cat, okay? It's a Type 0 monster, which means that the Dream of the Rem Urianger deck gets better, because for 0 CP, it's a 5k forward. That's okay. But when it attacks, choose 1 forward and dull it. This card was so good to me in pre-release, because no one was playing that many forwards, and I just shut this on the field and go, oh, you have a big card, go away. Just for anyone out there thinking this card isn't good, I'm just going to bring up a suggestion. 1 cost Snow, Swamp Monks, and Militesi Curel. And you just build a deck around that, you're going to have so much fun.
To describe Scott's mono ice deck.
I have no idea. So...
I was running Snow and Swamp Monk as 3 obs before this card came out, and I'm just running 3 of this as well.
Another fun thing you can do with this card, if you're thinking, oh, it's just an ice monster, yay. Because it costs 0 CP to turn into a forward, have a go at building a Scions deck and shoving this into your monster slot, because you're going to have 3 Scions out, so very on they can bring it in. And then, if you want to kill something, you can just swing with this, dull it, and then swing with Ida to deal with about 6k, 7k, 9k, depending on how big your Ida is.
Yeah.
It's fun, it's nice.
And then people have got to pick whether it's worth killing Militesi Quell or Ida first.
Yeah,
because
Ida is cheaper and searchable.
Yeah. Well, no, he's not searchable.
He's searchable by passive.
Except through Gao. Gao is its only search, I believe. But it's retrievable by Rem.
By Rem.
And I think there's another one. But it's also filterable through Realm and a few others, I believe.
It's just a solid monster.
I think this is worth 4.
It is.
I think it's better than Swamp Monk just because it costs no CP to activate.
And it does a monster as well? Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. Swamp Monk does a monster. Yeah, sorry. I don't know, Swamp Monk's ability to dull a monster can come in really useful, especially if you're facing down Kobold Droid or I don't know, the odd Royal Ripeness, which could be a problem. Or there's the new Gygus, so, taking that out, Swamp Monk can, so...
But why not just run both? And just be that person?
Why not run both?
Run both.
13 Type 0 10 to synergy as so.
3 Militesi Girls, 3 Swamp Monks, and 3 Ghouls, and just laugh.
And 3 Snows, and 2 Orphans, and a couple of Laguna, and maybe Katur Bashtar if you're really feeling it, and and then just spam Shiva.
Yeah, for free CP a turn, you can dull 3 forwards on the board, and 4 if you have snow out, and then your opponent every turn is going to cry.
Yep. So it's like with snow, when you only got 1 forward out, like it's dealing a point of damage every turn. But when you've got like more than 1 snow variant out, they just cry because they always need at least 1 more forward than you have any of these 3. And generally you want 2 more because the amount of abilities to dull and freeze that ice has, it can get quick.
Yeah, you can if you're doing a Type 0 ice deck, you Militesi Quirl, attack, then you play your Emina and freeze it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just a great card. 6 out of 5 Bergen.
Right. Moving on, we have
Squall. 2 cost seed candidate. Forward. If your opponent has 2 cards or less in his or her hand, Squall gains haste and first strike. If your opponent has no cards in his or her hand, Squall gains plus 3k power. It's a 5k.
And category 8.
Category
so
8.
Actually relevant.
Yep.
How many Squalls do we have now?
No, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
6 Squalls. No, we have 5.
Wow.
No, 4. Laguna came up on the search.
There's Laguna, some Laguna's reference Squall in the searching, that's why.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's not the worst Squall.
I mean,
Not the worst.
the first question you ask is, if you're getting your opponent down to no cards in their hand, why aren't you playing Sid Allenstein?
Yeah.
I think he's a overextending blocker like thing, but you don't really need it that
The
much.
second question is, why are you running this Squall over Legendary Squall?
The other Squall, yeah.
Who even doesn't do that much play himself.
No, run if like you're playing this if your opponent's going to overextend too much. Just run Trickster because they're probably going to have a few haste cards. And just laugh and
Safi and Laguna search for this, and so does Renoa. Yay.
Yeah.
It boosts Legendary Renoa, the Opus 2-1. Kyros has the most irrelevant extra boosts to this Squall if your opponent's got no cards.
I mean, it gives it a 1 extra K.
It makes him a 10k and then just adds Brave on, and that's it.
That's not too bad. It means it can swing and then sit back as a blocker, as an 8k, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's probably the least wanted target of Kyros out of all of the FF8 forwards out there.
Like, what is your favourite Squall? Like, just asking.
Legendary. If it's blocks or is blocked, deal 6k.
Yeah.
Because it's always trading for at least 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I prefer to use that in combination with the Opus 1 Laguna, to be honest.
Yeah. And if you're running a discard deck, I suggest just running the Squall that when you have Laguna, you make them discard 2 cards and it becomes a 9k body.
Bear in mind that does make you discard 1 as well, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, I think it's kind of better.
And it's 2k more expensive, and this one has first strike and haste and 3k power, so...
I don't really like this new Squall.
But I don't. It's alright art, I guess.
Yeah. Not particularly impressed.
I'm a bit depressed that there aren't many good Squalls. You know, I never feel the urge to want to play Squall.
I mean, you could run for gains power for every dull forward they have with the snow
the 5
deck.
cost one that it just gets massive.
Yeah, just run that with.
I've run it occasionally and it's good. It might as well just say if your opponent's got 4 or more dull forwards, it becomes unblockable. To be honest.
Yeah.
But you know what you're gonna do. 2k, 2 cost. Sorry, whatever rating out of 5 Bergens.
2 Bergen.
2 Bergens. Yes, indeed.
Bergen roll in a 5 as an 8k. Great.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It gets big. Next up, we have Snow. I like Snow as a character, unlike a lot of people. Yeah. Snow is a 3 cost 7k, or should I say 3 cost 9k from Final Fantasy 13, and it is yet another terrible snow, which is never going to meet the same as the Opus 1 heroic one. Starts off 7k. If you've got a 13 forward, other than snow, it gains 1000 power. And if they also have Zer0 out, it gains another 1000 power. So you either run it with the backup Zer0 and hope for another forward, or you just run a forward Zer0, like the Moogle deck one, or the mini Genesis Zer0. And both of them will make him 9000 power. Orphan will help it, Noel will help it. You might run it around the whole... You could just add it into like a semi-pauper variant of the 13-2 starter deck. Yeah. I think the main problem I have is why the hell are you running this over the other snow?
Yeah.
Because Nolan dies.
Yeah, but generally snow is a lot more explosive in power. You're not going to attack. You're not going to keep it around to defend a lot of the time, and you don't mind spending 1 CP to dull and freeze potentially one of your opponent's forwards if it opens the way for the rest of your team.
It's the exact same as Noel, though. Right.
It is. It just gets big off of Zer0.
Yeah, like, would you rather have a haste card that gets 2 Chaos Zer0, or would you rather have super secret surprise Noel that should really have haste? Like...
I mean, both of them would be helpful with haste, but yeah, neither of them do.
No, the first Noel has haste. Lightning Noel.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course, yeah. It's a bit more like that, I guess.
He's just a big body that does nothing else, and when you're an ice player, I feel like you're going, this doesn't do anything.
I mean, it is a lightning card, so...
Yeah.
Which kind of appreciates haste. But okay, right, cool.
Now
we've got that sorted, that this is a subpar card, and unless there's another snow which has an S ability, or the snow with an S ability does get more use, I doubt it's going to be more than a 2.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, it's good in Pauper, I guess, because you can't run the other snow.
I mean, yeah.
It's alright.
It's good in title series.
Yeah. Is it the biggest body Theatre Rhythm can have?
Sorry?
Is it the biggest body that Theatre Rhythm can have?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Possibly, yes.
But there's no Theatre Rhythm Zer0, so you can't even run it in that title series that well.
Dun. Not that I think you consider Theatre Rhythm as a title series, because it suffers from the same thing as Dissidia.
Yeah.
Which basically have all the characters by the end of it. Okay, moving on swiftly, Tom.
Right, we just had snow. Now we have Snow Giant. It's this is what happens if you feed snow too much.
It's a big snow.
Yeah.
It's actually
it's snow.
But yeah, it's Shiva, but better, but not an EX best, but better.
Yeah. It's a CP monster from Type 0, so yet again Ren can bring this back in the break zone, which is very relevant here, because for 1 ICP, you don't have to dull this, so you don't really care if it gets dulled by something. You put Snow Giant in the break zone, choose 1 forward, dull it and freeze it. That's a net cost of 2 CP to dull and freeze anything you want.
Emperor shuts this down.
Emperor shuts a lot of things down, but...
Emperor just hates monsters, but yeah.
I feel like if you're running this deck, you're running some Shivas with it, and you can probably just shove in the... Like, late game, just shove down a 9k Shiva damage thing.
I mean, as good as card this is in terms of its ice effect, I don't think this is going to be run in mono ice. I think this is going to be run in a Urianger layout control deck.
Yeah.
With Ren, you have to use Ren, because then you could...
Ren. I think you'd be off with Realm as well, because if you don't want to use its dull and freeze, you can turn it into a 7k monster forward when you need to, or off of Kefka, of course.
It does look like an Earth card. Like, the art.
It looks like it could be another Hill Gygus.
Yeah.
Or a regular Gygus. Maybe it's an Ice Gygus.
I feel like it would be an Earth card.
Yeah. Maybe fire, because it's all red and tattooed and stuff.
Scared they start giving Earth decks freezing. That might.
Well, I mean, they already have it breaking dull stuff, so
yeah,
it's not too big.
element with freezing is water with semblance of a witch and Ultimecia.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, water's Ultimecia. And lightning has a lot of dull as well, but
No freezing, so
yeah, exactly. I think Ultimecia is the only freezer. Yeah.
This one mono ice. This will see play in ice earth, ice wind.
Maybe? Really? Oh yeah, I suppose with Ram, I guess. I think it's the most play in ice water or rainbow.
Most play in a Final Fantasy 14 deck.
Urianja!
Yeah.
Urianja is the god of the card, and I hate that it's a starter pack card.
Oh god, yeah. Well, so is Joanna Barton. She's a goddess of a card.
It's just
people would buy the entire starter deck just for this one card, sort of thing.
Just a really bad forward that has an amazing effect that you can just build so many decks around. Because you don't even have to run all of them. You just run him and Fangcred, and then you have a 9k body.
I think the creators underestimated the amount of one-cost monsters that would really benefit off of just throwing Urianja in any deck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They thought, oh, it's just something you're going to be using in Scions only, you know? How wrong.
You can discard Bunker Beast if you have 2 Scions and insta-play Bunker Beast and Urianja. Oh, that's a fun board state you can have.
Yeah. So,
use it in Cadets with Nagi, and that's negative 3k to anything blocking you when you choose.
Sounds good. What rating are you giving this?
I'd give it a 4 personally. What about you?
Yeah, I think 4's
decent. Yep.
Okay.
Good monster.
Playing
low cost.
Yeah. Might just be a flat out 5 if you could pay for it using any color.
I don't think I'm putting 3 of in any deck with ice though.
No.
If it didn't cost
mixed color, yes.
I mean, I'm more likely to put Coerl into mono ice than this, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's enough cards that do its effect and don't get shot down by Emperor.
This is the card that you put with ice rather than mono ice, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Your turn, Eva?
Yep, it's Celis. She's a rune knight from
6.
And
Dissidia
and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a rune knight forward, 5k. You pay 2 ice, and she gains 3k power until the end of the turn. You can only use this ability turn. So technically, it's a 2-cost 5k, or a 4-cost
Dragoon
8k.
And Soldier.
Yeah.
It's worse than Soldier, just saying.
Yeah, worse.
Well, apart from the whole 6 combo, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so if you just want this as a body, like if you're just doing it body wise and how much it costs, Soldier is a better card.
Although some people will refer to this as Dissidia Celis, we're going to refer to this Celis as S-Fodder Celis, because everyone who's using it is using it for S-Fodder.
Yeah.
For a card that you don't really care too much about using its S.
It runs into the snow problem from earlier of it's called Celis and it's just the body.
Yeah. I mean, Strago and Cyan have a bit of combos with it, I guess.
I mean, it's flat out works. No.
If you're wanting a 4-cost 8k, why are you not running the other Celis? Because it is a 4-cost 8k with a lot better effects.
And you don't need
to pay every turn.
Exactly.
Why would you pay 2 every turn just to gain that 3k power when you already have it?
Yeah. This is probably
it's
the
a disappointment.
Second worst card in ice this set.
Yeah. Could be.
After the is it Scholar, I think, from earlier?
But remember.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. You blanked out.
Doom Train.
Yeah. I think Doom Train's better than Celis.
Doom Train is better than Celis.
Yeah.
Doom Train's just outclassed in what it does, whereas Celis is just bad.
Bad. Very
It's a
Like
bad.
pauper
a-
card and nothing else, and we are never playing it except for an S ability, if even that.
It does feel like an ice monk, kind of, a bit, but
Well, Snow is technically a monk, but they wouldn't give it that job because they didn't want it to combo.
yeah, snow can never be dulled or frozen by your hurt ability.
Ooh.
Can we just
Right.
move on from this S ability?
I mean, cancelling a summon is always a good thing, but there's 3-cost summoner, there's Edward, which probably sees more. And do you care that much about activating Celis? Maybe.
Yeah.
Are we giving this a 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're giving this a 1. Alright.
Also, we're going to tell us in a fight. So.
Any final thoughts on this one?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Any fantasies on this one?
Okay, next up we've got my favourite card from this set. This set, maybe. This element for sure. At least so far. It is a 4-cost 8k standard unit forward. Multi-card named Shock Trooper. For all those people who hate on Shock Trooper, I'm going to go out there and say it right now. You're wrong. When Shock Trooper attacks, choose a forward opponent controls, break it, and break Shock Trooper. It's a summon on a stick. Not only, unfortunately, it's not an EX burst, but it's better than 7-cost Odin in Lightning. It's definitely better than 4-cost Odin in Lightning. It benefits from all of the same boosts of the standard units, at least more effectively when it's blocking. So Refill will make it a 3-cost. If you're running it with water, of course. Warrior of Light making it 10k first strike blocker. If you're running it with fire, it could get haste off of Lunith, which is incredible. If you're running it with wind, you can bring it back with Rem for more technically Odin recycling. Sure. And Conjurer in Ice itself can bring it back from the break zone. Shock Trooper is good. Tom, you want to say why?
Yeah. This card kills Emperor. That is.
I think there's only what was it? You said 21 cards that wouldn't be able to kill.
Yeah, it's about 21-ish cards, such as Trey and Camlanort, that could just say no.
3-cost Ranger. Yeah.
The thing with this card is there's some fun things you could do with it. If you're giving it haste with Luna, I recommend definitely kind of running Sabin. And
Running with fire, it's a good thing.
Yeah, just chuck it into something, have Sabin on the field, like, nah,
as much as
he's not great
to make it unbreakable is good.
Yeah,
you know.
You could keep power there if you want, but
yeah.
Also, you brought up Rem and Odin, 4-cost Odin.
Yeah.
There's the other 4-cost Odin, and the fact that this is a Type 0, if you're running Wind with this and you're running Rem, you may as well also run 3 Type 0 Odins and have
it depends
some,
if you're willing to throw it to Tricolour. If you're sacrificing Lightning in favour of
yeah.
Ice in this combination of Type 0, Shock Trooper is a great replacement for the Type 0 Odin.
Yeah, I do it, though, because I don't know if anyone else would agree with me, but when you've played Cadets for long enough, you get used to playing Tricolour.
Yeah.
It feels weird not having...
I think this benefits most from if you're running a Cadets, it'd be the Fire, Wind, Ice Cadets if you're running Tricolour.
Yeah. Well, I think there's no need to put Lightning in the deck because you're straying a little bit. I don't know.
It's noticeable that Sank and the new, was it Elementalist, I think? Illusionist, sorry, can force people to attack into Shock Trooper. So if you're making it bigger or unbreakable or something, it can still be a strong blocker.
I call that deck the school bully because you're basically just looking at your opponent going, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself.
So, Eva, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's a very powerful forward. Really good card. Everything else has been said, really.
Yeah, I think the common mistake that a lot of people have been doing it with this, because I had a lot of success in pre-release with this card. and I only had one copy of it. Managed to get it along with Sid Hayes and stuff like that to search for it. But the thing that people are mistaking is they are using it like it's just I don't know, it's going to kill itself and that's it. They're more focusing on the fact it kills itself or has to be used with Sabin. They're not using it, embracing the fact that it has to kill itself. It's a summon. Stop thinking of Shock Trooper like a forward, thinking it of a summon that can block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a good body to block as well.
It's also worth noting that if your opponent doesn't have a target for Shock Trooper, they have a clear board, or the target of Shock Trooper breaks before the effect resolves, Shock Trooper doesn't die. And Shock Trooper can still deal damage to your opponent. It's not like Backgammon. It can deal damage to your opponent if they don't have a target.
Yeah. Like, look at the card art. Does that boy look anything other than someone to read the line? He also looks a bit too happy with the fact that he's about to die. Like, is he smiling or grimacing at that?
He's embracing it. I'm martyring myself for the White Tiger.
The wider cause.
I'm the Tiger on that card art.
So,
he is happy.
Yeah.
Very good card.
If people play this, actually start playing this, maybe they'll see why it's better than people think it is. I mean, part of the problem is people aren't going to give this card a chance because they don't think it's very good.
We're still going to get hate anyway. We're saying this card is better than Kuja. So
yeah, we are saying this card is better than Kuja. Kuja is bad. I'm sorry.
It's not.
I mean, it's only a one-time use, of course.
Bad for a legendary.
Not the worst legendary. I'm looking at you, Pat.
Look at Legendary Vein. Okay, Legendary Vein will lock down any 5 costs or more. Yeah, that your opponent has.
Yeah.
Okay. What's to say that Shock Trooper can't just go in and kill it?
Yeah.
I mean, this will kill a lot of stuff. It kills your Emperor. It kills the legendary Cecil. I don't know what else people are playing that's quite large. It'll kill Nidhogg and Race of Elgear. Straight off the bat. It'll kill Ildnash. Well, technically, it'll fling it to his hand, I think it's only Camlanaut that's the main problem once it's become ice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you catch it before then, well, bye-bye Camlanaut.
Well, if you're running more than mono ice deck, Camlanaut has a chance of not being ice.
If you run this with lightning and just spam like break effects and hope your opponent does not have Doga or Vincent, yeah, this card's fun.
Yep.
Do you know what card it doesn't break?
What?
It doesn't break Trey, and thus clearly cadets are a counter to this card.
It does break Trey, actually.
But I thought Trey can't. Oh no,
there's Trey a 50% chance of breaking Trey, depending on what state Trey is in. Unlike 3-cost Ranger, which it cannot break.
Yeah, but like it's a winning card.
Actually, to be honest, because Shock Trooper has to target, and that can't be targetable, I don't think Shock Trooper would die. I'm not sure. We'll need a ruling on that, I think. I think Shock Trooper would still die, but I don't know. So we're happy to give this 4, right? Like, this is an incredible card.
1 Bergen for each CP. Like, whew.
It's in ice is its only problem, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tom.
Well, next card is a summon. Welcome to the Greek god of death himself, Hades. It's 5 cost from Mobius, and is that 7?
Yep, that's 7.
Yep. Choose 1 doll forward, break it. Yep, I mean, Ice had like 20 million of those cards. And the owner of this board discards 1 card from their hand.
Well, this...
it's an alright card.
It's a 3-cost break a doll forward.
It needs the X in it, though, I think.
It would make it better.
It would be a lot better than Glaciolabilus if it did that. I think that's the only problem, that Glaciolabilus kind of does the same to 7k and below.
If you give it EX first, then hasn't it just become Mateus the Corrupt, but better?
Yeah, because Mateus the Corrupt's not good.
Yeah, I mean, 1 cost is great.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Slaughter.
I
know.
So question is, of course, it's 5 cost. And you said if it was EX it'd be better. Do you know what is EX in 5 cost and does the same thing apart from the discard part?
Hades?
Sidalstein.
Oh,
In which the discard part isn't relevant because they already have 0 cards.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Bolton League was also 5 cost, and I prefer it.
Yeah. I think it also suffers from the whole masked woman thing, that it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might see some play, but I doubt it.
I mean, if you're willing to spend 10 CP, you can run it with the other Hades, you know? So you can dull one of their forwards, return a backup to the hand, and then discard for 1, and then just in case it's still got cards in your hand, you play the other Hades, kill that forward you just dulled, and discard that backup. Ooh.
It just... like, there are better summons in Ice.
There are better ways to do it, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Better ways to kill something and discard too. Yeah.
I needs to find more things to do because they're going to start running out of names to give. Discard 1, dull, break a dull thing.
If put that situation into comparison, I know they're summons, but you're spending 10 CP to basically kill something and discard 2. Okay. Now take Gesper. Okay. And take 2 Gespers, because they'll discard 1 each, say you have no cards in hand, and you've got Shock Trooper on the field. Okay? You spent 8 CP rather than 10 to do the exact same effect.
Yep.
Just a thought.
Cheaper. It needs
but
some
it is on 1 card.
I think it's actually... We didn't say about Shock Trooper before, but Shock Trooper is better than Sidalstein. Because although it's not an EX burst, it doesn't require them to have 0 cards in hand, and you generally want your Sidalstein to die so you can replay him anyway.
Maybe Shock Trooper is Sidalstein. Like, we don't know who's other cards.
Disguised Sid.
Maybe Sid was once a Shock Trooper. That's why he's like that.
More can wait. If he was Type 0, we need to play it. More.
I have Type 0. Yeah.
I do now.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep.
I've never played a Final Fantasy game.
Yes, you have. You played the trading card game.
Quite enough.
Didn't you play the start of Type 0?
I did, and then I got it stuck in screenshot mode.
Oh, fun. Eva!
Yes,
Do you want to take Tom's favourite card from this one?
Yeah, I mean, sounds like Bergen, but it's Borgen. It's Bergen, but it's Borgen. It's Captain Borgen.
But better.
It's Captain Borgen, 1 cost forward, 3k. When Borgen is put from the field into your break zone, your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand.
It's a Viking or a thief, but from category 2. So it's better.
Yeah.
Ooh, but it doesn't get the standard unit bonuses that no one really cares about with those 2 anyway. But, you know.
It's fine. Like, it's something you put down as effectively a trap, and you're like, haha, you have activated my trap card, and block their attack and make them discard.
I think the main problem is that whereas Thaumaturgy, they can't really avoid, because it'll just come in and discard, and you know what cards. They can avoid Borgen by not having any cards in hand when they kill Borgen.
Yeah, but then it's up to you to choose to block, but then they can just get around that by constantly hitting you.
I think it's better as a blocker than it is as an attacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a blocker. Although I did, just putting it out there, in pre-release, I did score the 6 point of damage on Scott with a Borgen, so...
I played so badly that game. Like, everyone else was doing pretty good, and then just that was... Yeah. We don't talk about that.
He had 1 forward on the table, and I had a Militesi Curl up, and he's like, I'm gonna swing with the other forward, and then it's just like, oh, wait, I've lost the game.
I should not have done that. Yeah. Guy will also gain a K from this, and Leon will come back to your side if that helps.
Yeah.
If you're running it in Ice Wind, which I don't think's an improbability, especially with the increase in wind support for discard, I think, with Zidane.
You could run a Cosmos in a Viking Thief deck and just chuck in a Morgan.
You could.
You could do. I mean,
it is a TP if you really want.
Sidala Stein benefits from this. It's going to be mentioned a lot. Such a good card, but yeah, does I have 3 on foil. Yeah. So Borgans, we're given 2 Bergens.
No,
Borgen gets 2 Bergen. We're getting 2 Borgen.
Yeah.
No, it'd become 1 Borgen then, though. That'd be the new rating.
So the match is 1 Bergen, 2 Borgen.
So everything worse than Borgen would actually be half of Borgen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's easiest to do Bergen, though, because Bergen's worse.
True.
Maybe if it's 2.5, could do 1 Bergen and a Borgen because Borgen's really short.
Yeah.
What about Goblin though?
Oh,
we're getting Goblin.
Oh, Goblin is worse than this, yeah.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
But Bergen is actually better than Goblin.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. We're good here. We're settled.
Yeah.
Right. I have another terrible card from this set, which we definitely did not need.
And the card art. Oh god.
The card art I wish was better. We have President Laguna, who is a 3-cost 4K, and I wish he was a backup. From category 8. So he does get the Kyros boost, not that you care. And he's going to search for Squall, which the backup Renoa, does anyway. Although, I guess an excuse to play this instead, so you can run forward Renoa. But, it basically does half of what the new Selfie does as well. If a little bit worse, so why would you run this? So let's look at its targets. So first of all, actually it gets a boost. It boosts Legendary Renoa from Opus 2, because everyone forgets that Legendary Renoa from Opus 2 is basically Guy. And then it's got 4 targets. It's got the new Squall, which we've deemed to be pretty bad. Then it's got the combo Squall, who combos off Laguna, which you probably will use it most with. To Squall 9k and discard 2 from your opponent, 1 from yourself. It searches for Legendary Squall, which is the one that blocks or is blocked, may deal 6k, so the good one. And then the 5-cost Squall, which becomes massive. Yeah. Thoughts, Ever?
Yeah. Disappointed.
There are
Not a
much better
fan.
cards I could have done for Laguna.
It should be a backup.
Like, it's not even a good body. You just bring this on, search for Squall, and
I think the whole point is it's supposed to be a bad body, because you search for the 4-cost Squall, and then hope it dies so you can pay the 4-cost Laguna.
There are so many better Lagunas.
There's one.
Well, my favourite one was the attacks 3 something.
They're all better than this Laguna, but there's only really one semi-good Laguna. Yeah. Okay. Right. So this card is absolute trash. It is a Bergen, a singular Bergen.
Agreed.
And it's a President, so it doesn't even get the Gunslinger boost that doesn't exist from the other ones. Yeah. I guess you can suicide it off of Kyros.
Yay!
Yeah. And this is a bit disappointing for my last card to reveal, so Tom, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, right. Next card. The next card is Time Mage, but it's actually 4 CP Renoa from the game you'd expect.
8.
And it's a 7k forward. Yeah, it's Time Mage. I think the card you're using this most with are probably Genesis Avatar for board wipe or Genesis itself.
Or Nidhogg.
I mean, you could use Laguna and search for Squall twice.
Oh.
All the
I mean,
brilliant.
I think
balls.
so. It's quite interesting. I mean, of course, you've got
Yes.
Orphan being able to dull and freeze another 2 things.
Yep.
And Sid Alastine, because I like to time mage Sid Alastine in my discard deck that I haven't used.
Or you could Renoa your Dark Lord and put 20 cards into the remove from game.
A
Oh
lot of people
yes,
have been flagging this one up. Estinian. So, I mean, of
Yeah.
course it enters dull, but
Yeah.
Estinian can pay 1 lightning to just activate and attack again.
But you're missing the best combo. You time mage your Renoa.
You can't time mage
Whoa.
Renoa except in title series.
You can't time mage Renoa, so you can't bring back Renoa to bring back Renoa.
Nope,
Why not?
because Renoa has to be a target already on the field.
Oh no.
And you can't play a Renoa if there's already another Renoa on the field unless it's in title series.
I don't know, but this card is good to like help out your deck. But I think some of the issues are the fact that the card comes back dull.
I mean, that's just what time mage effect did anyway.
Yeah. How
It's
much
just time mage on
CP
the board, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good body as well, actually.
I think the major problem that this Renoa has is it's called Renoa.
Yeah.
I much rather the other Renoa.
There are better Renoas.
Well, there's
think
one better Renoa.
one.
Yeah.
One better Renoa. I think we're forgetting that common Renoa is actually best Renoa.
Yeah. Didn't you go for an entire box of Opus 2 to get common Renoa?
No.
Of course.
Who paid both of your Renoas, hey? Hey? When you buy 5 Opus 2 packs and you get a foil Renoa and a normal Renoa.
When you buy more than an entire box of Opus 2 searching for Renoa, and then after all your time you keep getting Opus 2 just to get Renoa, and then your friend pulls 2.
And then you get your other friend to help you, but they just draw another Renoa. Common Renoa.
This Renoa is okay.
It's alright. I think it's good, and combos will continue to occur.
Yeah.
As long as the game exists.
I just really don't like the card art.
You don't?
I don't.
I
No.
think it's pretty.
I prefer the other one.
Like, all of the style that Yoshitaka Amano is kind of done for this bit. I mean, Cypher's kind of okay, but he does look a bit like a Mothman. But
he does.
Skull,
I quite like
Skull
Cypher,
Laguna and
though.
Renoa are a bit subpar, I think, to be honest.
Yeah.
You
Renoa's
could-
the prettiest.
Renoa your Kurosame, and then you can get both Emina and Kazusa in your hand.
I mean,
That's
Yes.
how you...
yeah. There are things you can do, of course. Can you not? Is it Auron that brings a fire backup with him?
Yeah.
No, it's Garland, isn't it? Sorry, Auron's when you deal damage, it does it. But yeah, 2 fire backups.
Yeah, you could. I think you don't use Renoa in Mono Ice, because I think you just use Time Made based on the fact that Renoa was called Renoa.
Yeah, I think Renoa is better when it's used with forwards that are more expensive than Renoa.
You could use it in Earth Ice and play Mart and then get 2 monks.
Because to be perfectly honest, right, as much as Renoa is great, but it has to be over a certain cost to be more effective than using Mion. Because Mion is effectively base 0 because it flings something back to your hand and then you draw a card. Okay? So if Renoa has to be above what it costs to play her in order to be effective.
It depends on the effect as well, though.
I think, yeah, of course. So I think
I mean-
it really does have to be a minimum of 5 CP. I mean, Genesis you could, for the sake of Genesis, flinging back, but apart from that, yeah, anything that's 5 CP or above is probably your best targets for the Renoa.
6 Warrior of Light, and then you can bring in 2 backups as well.
Okay.
And then you have backups, a 7k forward, and an 8k. Is he something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. So how much now?
We're gonna have 3.
Yeah.
3 Renoas, 3 Bergens.
I'd say it could be a 4 with potential, but that's
we'll
later
see
sets
next
to see.
set.
Yeah.
These are trading guys, by the way. We don't accept 4 Bergens for a Renoa. That's
Eva, do you want to take the last card, please?
The last card is a Theatre Rhythm Lock, who's a 4-cost. He's a 7k forward who, when he enters the field, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and you add 1 category 6 card among them to your hand, and return the other cards to the bottom of your deck in any order.
Filter effect. Yay!
exact same card that every element is getting, including light cards.
So
does what?
This lock is not called Theatre Rhythm Lock. This lock is called S Ability Lock. But unlike Celis, this is an S ability you actually really want to do.
Yeah.
Because everyone, you'd be out of your mind to be playing this lock over the other lock, unless of course you really want to filter for the other lock. Because this is obviously going to be giving you an extra Mirage Dive. The other lock obviously comes in discards if you've got 3 or more. Two more category 6 characters, and will discard upon dealing damage, and allowing extra fuel for this Mirage Dive goes up from 2 to 5 now. Makes the lock cannot be blocked for a turn, so that's a free discard as well. Technically 2, because 1 that goes to damage. It may see more play, especially if you're running FF6. Yeah. There's a whole package around it, so.
It started at Queen. Like, it's a card that you only put in the deck to make your other card not be blocked.
Exactly. It is the equivalent of Starter Deck Queen, which is absolutely trash, but it will see
unless you use it with
Queen because of the card that it supplies. Yeah. Like the reason you may play other Jills just to trigger Jill's S ability.
Yeah, it's an S for the card that... It's an alright body, I guess, but...
I think it's kind of good that this lock's worse than the other lock, though, because, you know, there's no real question of, oh, do I play this lock or do I play that lock, you know?
You cannot unlock my true potential.
Alright. Okay, cool.
Yeah, this card is S fodder. Other lock is better lock.
Yep. I mean, you can search it with Zer0 and Banana Seed, and this pings off Strago, it gets Brave from Cyan.
It's an issue Opus 6 Ice. It's just a lot of cards.
Have better alternatives.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think, what would you say is the best card in Ice but doesn't have an alternative card that does the exact same thing?
Genesis.
I mean, from Opus 6.
Oh, right. Wait.
Shock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's only real comparison that does it directly what it does is in Lightning, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd say Summoner might be it.
Yeah, Summoner, I guess, but it's got something in Earth as well that does the same thing, but worse. Yeah.
I don't know. Not much that does what Scholar does, or that Dull and Freeze of a 2 cost. Woo!
Sweet, yeah. Okay, so we happy with this? Giving it 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just anyway. That's gonna be it for this set. Well, for Ice review, we hope you enjoyed. Yeah, have fun. Goodbye from Scott.
Goodbye from Eva.
Goodbye from Tom.
Ciao for now.